when it comes to Judaism, and it's on the topic of like identity, why are we taught to identify as a Jew rather than, well, actually, if I go deep down to my core, I'm a piece of God, and then on this level, on this world, my role, which is a deep part of my role, and perhaps one of the first things that is who I express my essence as, is a Jew.
So rather than identify as a Jew, you should identify as.
Uh, Consciousness. So, for example, when it comes to anti-Semitism, or for before that, somebody identifies as like this political party. Anybody who's against that speaks up, and it's like it's a shock on their identity because that's who they identify with. So when it then comes to Judaism and there's anti-Semitic stuff, some people get shook and react so emotionally. Whereas yes, I feel like yes, we that stuff should not be allowed, but if I'm reacting emotionally to it and allowing myself to get angry, like you even pointed out a little bit about what anger is in the book, then it's like it's a contradiction. And so I feel like it really goes to the personal identity, how one um, knows oneself.
Well, for all practical purposes, we have tried desperately for at least 1,000 years to do exactly what you're suggesting.
Really.
The German Jew was a German. The Russian Jew was a Russian. The Hungarian Jew was a Hungarian. The world did not accept it. No, you're a Jew. What are you going to do? We might as well be good Jews.
But it's something to be proud of. That's a whole nother conversation. But even deeper than that, it's interesting to me because I don't identify, or I'm curious of, like, other religions or um, traditions don't identify with the religion, but as Jews we are told to identify at our deepest level. I am a Jew, rather than, no, I am a I'm a piece of I'm a literal piece of God. I am consciousness, a spiritual being living in a human experience, and this experience happens to be a Jewish one.
Well, that's the whole point. Being a Jew is not a religion. So a Jew who is completely not religious still calls himself a Jew.
Yeah.
And it's correct. It's correct. But you see, where this is leading is to gender fluidity.
Yeah.
Why should you identify as a male?
Huh?
Why identify as a male versus female? Why not just consciousness?
But that's the deeper part. On the apparent level, you can identify as that, but it's like I'm not. But the male is more so the terminology to explain, well, this person with these body parts, how he was created, or was created by God.
But being male is not just body parts.
The initial thing that kind of you can tell the difference by. But
The body parts are matched to the personality. So I think the more borders, which means the more definition we give ourselves, the healthier. If I know exactly who I am, I know exactly where I belong, I know exactly what my mission in life is, I'm solid. But when I don't have those borders or those definitions, I spend half my day worrying about what I am, who I am, where I belong, why I'm here, existential problems. Now, would it make it easier for other people to accept us if we didn't identify as Jews?
I don't know if it would be easier for people to accept us, but maybe we would know how to respond better.
Or the opposite? If I can't present myself as a Jew, then I can't present myself. I have to deny or ignore something essential about me.
Is it essential?
Yes, you're born Jewish. It's not your religion.
Very powerful.
In fact, you are more Jewish than you are male because your neshama could come back as a female.
Is my neshama, my soul, in the topic like of past lives, could it come back as a non-Jew, or has my soul before been a non-Jew?
No,
Really? Okay, so I heard that actually opposite once from a rabbi. So I'm glad I'm clarifying.
a soul can't change from Jewish to non-Jewish.
Okay, that's incredible.
Now, a convert doesn't change his soul, he receives a soul.
Interesting.
And that soul was always Jewish.
The one that
That's
they
why,
received.
that's why a convert is a real Jew.
Because they receive a Jewish soul.
Yes. And that soul can honestly say, my ancestors were slaves in Egypt.
Wow. Should tell that to um there was like some Seinfeld episode when I don't remember, I didn't watch it so much, but I saw there was a clip when somebody converted and he was like making Jewish jokes. And he was like, "Can you really say that? Because you're just a convert." But that's a powerful. It was a joke back, an old
Yeah.
joke.
The convert needs to be able to say, my ancestors were slaves in Egypt, even if the convert is an Egyptian.
Wow.
And he can say it because the soul that he receives when he converts has always been Jewish. And that soul's ancestors were slaves in Egypt. In fact, that soul could himself have been a slave in Egypt.
So on my soul level, and all Jews' souls level, they are Jews. This Jew goes to the soul level. It's not where you might hear in other traditions and Eastern traditions that all religions and all things are up on the apparent surface level. But deeper than that, you are just a spiritual being.
No.
Wow.
In fact, we're almost a different species. And that's why we don't fit in no matter where we go.
Interesting. That's very thank you for sharing. Um that that has helped. That's been a question I've had for some time. Um especially because I practice meditation often, and you can get to like it's like you're in a just place where it seems like everything is connected. How can my soul be different from this person, other person that's not Jewish?
We have a lot in common, but as long as you're seeing the commonality, you haven't yet identified the Jewish you.
Wow.
Because what's universal is not Jewish.
Wow. So the Jewish goes even deeper than the universal?
Yes,
Because universally we're all one, right? Kind of thing.
we're all created in God's image, made out of dust. But what makes us Jewish?
Something still it kind of feels like some part I haven't perhaps like maybe it's not like a grasped or unsettled, but
Well,
what you've
it's a
shared is
new
very
idea.
powerful. Huh?
It's a new idea. Let
Yeah.
it settle in.
Hello? Are you still there?
You haven't identified the essence of a husband until you find something that only a husband does.
Hmm. The video kind of cut off for a sec. Before, what did you say before you said you haven't identified a husband until you identify something only the husband does?
Yeah,
What was before that part?
that's that's the point.
Cool.
To identify something, you must identify the unique quality, not the universal one.
Interesting.
So to say Jews are a spiritual consciousness, everybody's a spiritual consciousness.
But that's not as that's powerful as well then, because then you can see when somebody realizes that, then you can see the other person as yourself.
Similar. You have something in common, which is good. But then who are you? It's, it's like every husband loves his wife, but you better love yours, not somebody else's. So a husband is somebody who loves a wife. No, 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 not a wife, his wife.
Cool.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, and thanks for the additional time. I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure.
Hatzlacha.
It's a pleasure to get to speak with somebody like yourself.
Great success.
God willing, we can spend Shabbat sometime together.
Where are you right now? In Israel?
Houston, Texas.
Oh, second best.
Precisely.
You know that song, If I Can't Go to Heaven, let me at least go to Texas? Country Western. Anyway, be well.
You too, Rabbi. Take care.
Bye bye.